Ladies and gentlemen, we have a treat for you today. We just found the 2024 Newell Summer Show coach. Today we're hanging out with the famous Brian Pitts.
How are you?
Excellent, thank you. Always an honor to check out the latest and greatest here at Newell Coach. And I heard that this is a special coach and a rare opportunity.
This is our 2024 Summer Show Coach. What a show coach means at Newell Coach is that's a chance for us to show everybody what we can do. So we pull the stops out and just really do it upright. I can't wait to show you guys all the stuff that's going on in here.
Well, and I heard that this is a rare opportunity. A brand new coach is available.
Absolutely. We built it for the show season and didn't want to sell it before we were able to do that. So this coach is available. It's going on the show circuit as soon as we're finished shooting video.
I'm really excited to see this coach, and it is loaded with features that the viewers are really going to enjoy. Now, before we take a closer look, I've got to ask you, how much money does somebody need to become the next owner of this coach?
This is just a click over $2.5 million.
Arguably the nicest motor coach available on the market right now?
Absolutely. As soon as we're done shooting, I'm headed for Mountain Falls in North Carolina. The week after that, I'm going to Hearthside Grove in Petoskey, Michigan. We're going to show this bad boy off.
Yeah, I don't know how quickly we're going to have this video out, but if you're at one of those resorts and you have the opportunity to see this coach in person, definitely worth visiting Brian.
The paint job on this coach is very vibrant. I love the offsetting colors with the white and the black and the blue and the fades. There's some awesome ghosting in the darker colored stripes there.
Like a metallic gray and a metallic black.
Looks awesome out here in the sun. It's just hard to see on the camera. A couple of things that I think are really cool is how we've changed the way the logo works on the back and the front of the coach. Previously, the Newell logo went across the back like this. We wanted to bring it down and make it look built in, so now it's literally embossed into the rear cap, nice and flat there, and it brought it down far enough that we can do more with paint up here.
I definitely like leaving that extra room for that paint job. Beautiful rear end on this coach, but I'm also noticing this design here kind of in the back of the coach is a little bit different as well.
We've changed the engine door to make it easier to open. It's got a nice little handhold here and then a trigger on the bottom, and then the door just easily folds up like so. As always with Newell's, unprecedented access to the engine bay. It's just all right here for you. I really like that setup.
Cummins X15.
Yeah, 605 horse, 1950 torque. This one has the medium polished stainless package. The floors of the engine bay are polished stainless. The header pipe here is polished stainless. It starts from there and goes completely crazy. You've seen some of those.
Yeah, we saw a coach that PDI just went way above on chroming out the engine bays.
I love that part. I think that is super cool. I'm the guy who cleans it while it's a show coach, so I usually tend for the lower level because there's not as much time. That coach you guys just filmed with all the chrome on it. Oh,
I do feel sorry for whoever's going to be in charge of detailing that. That's going to be a task.
You know how that works.
I retired from that business. Bless whoever takes on that job. Huge hitchback here. What's towing capacity on the 24 Newell?
These are rated at 25,000 pounds. They have the class 5 3-inch hitch, and we plumb them with air brakes. It's already ready for a stacker trailer. It also has electric trailer brake wiring set up. Regardless of which way your stacker operates, we're ready to roll on that.
I'm looking forward to getting inside of this coach. It's a little warm out here on an Oklahoma summer day, but are there any new features on the exterior that we maybe haven't
I'd
seen
love to
yet?
show you the front cap. Yeah. We've changed how that works too, and I think that's worth looking at.
But I've got to point out that this generator is running right now with the ACs going, and very quiet generator.
And it's a huge generator. It's a 20 kilowatt 4-cylinder turbocharged. The noise that's happening inside that quiet box is unbelievable, but standing out here, normal talking voice, you don't really notice it.
We've seen some of the new paint designs come into the front end. I love what's going on up front here, but what else is new here?
The big thing that we wanted to accomplish previously, this was all black glass, which was awesome because it was easy to change on the road. You didn't have to have paint involved if there was damage. We kept having customers wanting to bring the paint job down onto the front, which meant get rid of the black glass. So this is what we've done now. This insert, of course, is backlit, so you can see the Newell after dark. It looks good. It's got the radar detector and a see-through place for collision avoidance. Otherwise, we can paint pretty much the entire front cap now, which opens up the paint jobs big time.
No skimping on the details, still design ghosted in, lots of drop shadows,
got
beautiful
the fades
stencil
from
work.
lighter to darker as it comes up the whole bit.
Yeah, really beautiful front end, Porsche design exterior. The inside is something to get excited about. Do you think we could put the slide rooms out and take a look inside?
Absolutely, inside's killer on this coach.
Brian, the team at Newell never ceases to amaze me. One of the prettiest motorhomes I've ever been in. What's going on?
I'm with you on this, and I was not a light coach guy for a long time, but that's what people are wanting now. And when I saw this thing finished, even undecorated, I was like, wow, this is going to be amazing. And now that they've put all the touches with the pillows and the accents, I'm like, whoa, I can't wait to show it off.
It reminds me of a little bit of a video that we did back in 2022 that I titled The Nicest RV Interior of 2022.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I know the coach you're talking about.
That coach got almost 2 million views, so definitely worth watching this whole video because Brian's gonna share a lot of wisdom with us in this video. But what's going on here?
Starting up here at the front, one of the things that's always been tough to do is a sofa that's long enough that you can lie down on it without getting into the rest of the floor plan and still having a queen size hide-a-bed in it. So Sydney and Amber, the girls in decor, came up with this idea for removable armrests. So it gives you the full length of the couch while still giving you a queen size bed inside, which you would have lost were these arms built into the couch. So I thought that was a really great idea.
Yeah, very clever. And then also cup holders built in.
Sure, yeah.
Lots of cool little details to make the end user comfortable.
There's so many things in it just in general in these. I mean, this manufacturing crew is hitting on all 12. It's unbelievable how perfect this stuff is coming out. I mean, just like nailing it.
Yeah, and so many different designs to all next level. We've talked about mid-entry coaches in the past.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of mid-entry. What are some of the advantages to a mid-entry coach?
My favorite thing about it is so much of what I do when I'm in any of these cool places, if it's a tailgate for a college football game or in one of these resorts, the interface with outdoor living is unbeatable on a mid-door coach. You're coming in and out under the awning. You have a screen door, half bath, refrigerator, pantries. Everything is just right there. You're not hauling your stuff up here to the front through your friends and back and forth like this. I think that part's brilliant. And it's 40% of our production are mid doors. The only reason it's not by far the majority is you've got this space up here in front of the passenger's feet that you have to have. You gain about 32 inches of convertible floor space if you double that as an entry. That's the only advantage to a front door. All of the other advantages are piled into that center door idea there, and I think they're just brilliant.
Definitely, and a lot of folks that I know that go with the mid-entry, they stick with the mid-entry.
Absolutely.
So.
The things that we were going for on this coach was doing a light, airy, contemporary interior. You can go too far with that and end up getting it look a little sterile, you know, hospital laboratory type thing. So they did a bunch of wood grains. Like this floor is a bamboo floor. I mean, really bamboo, not ceramic. It's actually bamboo. But because it's a manufactured product, we can still put floor heat underneath the whole thing, you know, nice for taking the chill off.
Are the slide room floors heated as well?
They are.
Okay,
Yeah,
I know
they
some
are.
of the production motorhomes, they heat the main floor but not the slide room, so
Yeah.
you got 1 foot on warm surface and
one on
whatnot.
cold, yeah.
Definitely a nice
And it's
advantage.
difficult, you know, especially with them being two separate moving pieces. It's difficult to do, but it can be done. And you're absolutely right. It is disconcerting when you're walking through the coach and you step on an ice cold section of floor. So we try to avoid that.
Yes, sir. Now, is that standard in every quad slide Newell coach?
It is. It is. If it has hard surface flooring. If we have somebody that orders carpet in the bedroom, we don't put floor heat under that. There are some wood products that don't work well with floor heat because it causes the joints to shrink and swell and it won't fit correctly. But otherwise, it's in every coach we build, front to back.
Now, we've started to see these really cool recliners in the last few coaches. What's going on with these recliners?
Well, you know, I'm a big fan of those giant Homolas that look like a baseball glove. They're so comfortable, but they're really heavy, and you need to be able to move them around as you're retracting and extending the slides. So these are a lot more compact. They're smaller. They're easier to use. I'm 6'2". When I first saw them, I'm like, man, I don't know that that's going to fit somebody my size, but it's really got a cool design detail here. You can flip up these adjustable headrests and it's still a recliner. It still comes out. So it does all the stuff the bigger chair does while still being easier to move around when you're deploying the slides.
They really look like normal chairs, but they are recliners.
They are
as well,
recliners,
and
yeah.
extremely comfortable.
Yeah, they're
So,
really comfortable.
as we're standing talking here, I'm looking up at the ceiling of this coach. I've never seen these textures on the ceiling. What's going on here?
That's Sydney and Amber again. I mean, I keep talking about them, but they're next level decorators. The amount of textures they can pull together and make this thing look like a masterpiece just blows me away. That's this beautiful texture on the ceiling, works great with the smooth leather next to it and the lighting. We've done it in a number of recesses around the coach too, like kind of brought it down into the walls, and the headliners on the slide rooms over the windows. They just look so super clean.
And I'm noticing this countertop almost looks like a concrete kind of a look.
Sure is.
What material is that?
That was what we were going for. Now, concrete in a motorhome, little heavy, you know, I know that's a thing in houses, but that's a traditional quartz countertop just made to look like polished concrete. Has the cool waterfall edge here too.
More indirect lighting. Now we see so many different designs, and when Newell Coach is speccing a coach in-house, what is that process and how does that work versus a custom coach?
The big difference there is when we're building a spec coach, a show coach, we're asking ourselves the question of where is this coach going and what does that market like to see? A lot of the people that I'm going to be seeing in North Carolina and in Michigan are East Coast people. That Florida beach house vibe is really what we all like over there. That's what we were going for on this. So in that case, it's kind of a reflection of what those customers are asking for when they spec coaches or comments they make when they're looking at the show coaches. Whereas obviously if it's a custom, people have been building a wish book in Houzz or Pinterest or something like that. These are design elements I like. It's from a house, it's from a boat, it's from an airplane, and they just put these on their clipboard. And then when we have our pre-spec conference call, they email that to us. That way when they show up, we don't have a blank table and 5 people sitting there like, hey, what do you guys have in mind? We've got stuff spread out for them to look at already. I think in a way, sometimes that's easier because the clients have done a lot of the legwork for us, kind of telling us where they want to be, whereas here, it's trying to remember what people said about my last show coach and what we can do to make it more palatable for where it's going.
I can definitely see that inspiration, just a really light, kind of almost a beachy vibe,
Sure.
with a little slice of heaven kind of tied in.
There's several things that I really like about this coach, like the combination of colors. You know, they've brought the warmth with the wood grains in here, but they still kept it cool and modern with this kind of dove gray linen print laminate. When we get further back in the coach, you'll even see what I mean, because the back of the coach is cooler colors than the front, and it looks enormous back there. You know, all of the bedrooms in Newell's are big. You know, we're 30-inch slides and 8-foot ceilings and the whole bit, but it looks huge back there just because they're so big and so much light.
I remember the first coach I filmed with you was 1715, which was a Tampa show coach, which you brought that projector that went outside. That was the first coach on that. I know that's a popular option right now. Does this coach have that option? And what's the AV equipment in it?
One of the biggest things we've seen that's changed on AV, people are stopping ordering coaches with satellite dishes on them. They're ordering Starlink on everything. We're installing 3 or 4 Starlinks on pre-owned coaches in the service department every week, and they're streaming everything, which that is just so cool. It brings the complexity, you know, from here down to here, and having options like that huge projector, you know, with a 78-inch screen and the Anthony Gallo acoustic surround sound. I mean, just awesome stuff. We're doing a lot of that, especially in the bedrooms, because it solves a lot of problems back in the bedroom. That television is a situation where you either lose your drawers or you have the big television that ruins the window. The bedroom does it more than anything. We did not do it in the front on this coach. It has a 49-inch television in the front overhead and a 39-inch television back here. We felt like we had the television thing pretty well covered in here, but the one in the bedroom is definitely a projector. One of the ways you can tell as soon as you walk into a coach whether or not it has a projection system is we will extend a shorter version of these cabinets all the way across, and that holds the projection system and the AV equipment for it. That's often on the same side as the recliners. That way it's projecting across so that when you're in the recliners you can watch the television over there. There's kind of a give and take on that. You do lose a little bit of window right here and a little bit of headroom, which means interior space feel over the recliners. It's a very, very popular option though. We build a whole lot of them. Almost all of them still have the main television up here. Even a modern projection system requires it to be a little bit dark. Like they can't handle direct sunlight directly on the shade because it'll wash the picture out. So if you're wanting to watch the news during the day, it's nice to have these other televisions to watch it on. But when it is movie time and you put the shades down and turn on the surround sound, it is awesome.
With the height of the Newell coach slide rooms, even though you're given a little bit of space for that cabinet,
For sure.
it's still maybe even taller than other product out there. What's the height of these slide rooms here?
I'm 6'2". You're a little taller than I am. I'd say you've got 3 inches of clearance. I probably have 4 or 5, so mid 6'6" range.
The center of the coach, a lot of room here.
Yeah.
What's the height in the center of the coach?
It depends somewhat on what the ceiling design is in the coach. Unfinished, they're 8 feet, but we always drop a little bit for the intakes for the air conditioners.
Yeah, I always enjoy seeing
This is just so cool, you know, how you can get to the filter. You're supposed to clean those all the time, and there's no screwdrivers, doesn't take 2 people, doesn't take a ladder. You just fold them down and they're right here. But depending on what the design is there, that generally drops the ceiling height down to the 7'9" range.
Leading interior space in the Class A industry that I'm aware of.
Makes the interior feel so big when you've got these huge slides and the tall ceilings and all that. It's a place that you can spend a lot of time in without getting claustrophobic.
I mean, that's why we see so many Newell coaches at the racetracks, so many different uses for Newell coach. What are some of the more popular uses for Newell coach?
The majority of our coaches go to the resorts. You know, they're chasing good weather. Florida in the winter because wow, and you know, northern Michigan, mountains of Montana because those are beautiful in the summertime. To me, it was a little surprising the amount of people who tailgate. College and pro football games, and I count NASCAR in with the tailgating. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing out there. The number of people I've seen at college football games and coaches, and even coaches that I've sold to people because I was there watching my team play. I'm not going to alienate anybody by saying who that was, but I love going to those games, and those motorhome lots are just jammed full of coaches, and a lot of people will buy an expensive coach to go chase their kids.
Definitely priceless just to have like a luxury condo. I mean, this is nicer than any Four Seasons hotel room that I've ever been in. They don't have this level of stitching on the walls and this surfaces. This is a step above a Ritz-Carlton or a Four Seasons in my books.
They're insulated such that when you're tired of the game day atmosphere, you know, if it's going on at 11 o'clock at night and you're ready to go to bed, you don't know what's happening. I mean, we've got a full-on manufacturing facility happening on the other side of this wall, and you don't hear any of that. It's so quiet and so isolated in here that you can be a part of it until you're tired of it, and then you've got your place to go.
What is it that we don't see that makes it such a robust build with that heavy insulation?
The biggest thing that I have seen that differs, you know, I've been in this business my whole life, so in manufacturing for a lot of it. The one thing that struck me immediately when I came here is that the sidewalls are just thicker. They're made of metal on the outside, which is obviously a very robust product. The superstructure is built out of top hat channels, which are really pretty cool. I had never seen it before here. Most everybody builds out of a box channel, which is easy to work with. You weld it down and you're done, but you can't insulate them. They're hollow in the center and there's no way to get insulation into them. So like if you see a coach sitting outside with frost on it, you'll see the frame rails melted in the frost because it's just a direct heat and sound transfer. Newell uses these top hat channels, so the skin is on out here. This part is open to the inside of the coach, so when they blow the urethane foam in to insulate the coach, it insulates all of it, sidewalls and all, and then they screw 5/8 marine grade plywood to the outside of that and screw that to the flanges on the top hat channel. You can already tell at that point, that's 2 months in on the build process. Even there, in all the mayhem in the factory, all the noise in the machines and all that, you walk into one of those coaches, at that point you can already tell it's quieter.
Yeah.
There's no windows in it at that point. It's just the deadness of the sidewalls don't let the sound transmit in.
The moment that really hit me where I really saw the difference was there was a high level production motorhome and a Newell coach that I was filming pre-owned. It was about 1 in the afternoon. It was getting pretty warm, but it had been, you know, cooler in the morning. And when I walked into both coaches, the production coach was probably about 20 degrees warmer than the Newell, and that it hit me right between the eyes.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, there's something here. You know, 2 coaches in the same exact environment. This held that cool air much better than the other coach. There's definitely a lot to be said about that.
I see that at the shows. It's the coaches that are plugged in, you know, in other words, the higher end coaches, they open and shut the door in between clients. Part of it is the insulation part that we talked about for sure. Part of it is this air conditioning system, a customer helped us design it that's in this business, and the airflow is perfect. The intakes are in the right place, the airflow is in the right place, it distributes the air the way it should. That was a huge part of this. So now one of the ways I show it off is I'm in Naples, Florida, and it's 87 degrees outside. We've got a big show on the pavement. Everybody's running their generators. I leave the door open. I also crank it way down. That way it's a bigger deal, but people will walk in that door, if it's front door, mid door, whatever. They've just come from 87 to 68 in a motorhome full of people with the doors open. That definitely tells you what's going on right there. Being able to keep the coach cool at that situation with the door open all day, big deal.
There's a lot of savvy Newell coach owners that really push the Newell coach team. Just in the few years I've been making videos with you guys, I've heard a lot of those stories and met some of those customers that are just very savvy and really want to push the product to the best possible level. And I think the team at Newell really listens to those customers, and it's really cool to see Newell implement that technology and these coaches evolve, and they just keep getting better and better with every coach.
It really makes sense. You know, these guys have made enough money to buy one of these by specializing in a field. So when they come to you and say, hey, I have an idea that's going to improve this facet of your coach, you listen to that guy.
Absolutely.
I mean, he made a lot of money building that thing. One of the super cool things about the fact that we built this entire machine, other than buying pieces and chassis and so on, is we can do that. It might take us a little while to figure it out and work it into production and so on and so forth, but we can do that. We can make that work on the coach.
Yeah, and Newell coach has more ability to do more customizations than any other motor coach in the world that I'm aware of.
For sure.
And we've seen that. I mean, everything from the coach with the steam shower, cold plunge tub, and a dry sauna, all in the rear bathroom.
It had bunks. It even had bunks,
And a bath and a half, too. I mean, it's just incredible how you can squeeze all this into a 45-foot coach. It seems like they're 70 feet sometimes with everything you put in them.
For sure. So check out some more of these textures. Look at this backsplash.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that awesome? And it goes all through the galley there too, but I think it just looks so good because the brains it takes to put these textures all together in one spot and make it work that well is just so incredible to me. But like I said, as soon as I walked in this coach, I'm like, total home run on this thing. I mean, I love all of these different textures and how warm it is while still feeling modern inside.
Definitely does not feel sterile at all. It's very comfortable. And now we've got the step cover down right now. Can I stand?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not quite as heavy as I used to be. I've lost a lot of weight. I think I'm about 175, and it's holding me no problem here.
It's got a honeycomb metal base on it. It's very solid. No worries there. I know a lot of people have front entry coaches and they're not looking for this. A lot of times when I have people over and they're walking around the coach and looking, I'll go ahead, which is why I did it for you, because I didn't want you to go, hey, what's going on over here? And down you go, you know. So I put the step cover out. It's also, like, my wife is a lot shorter than me. If we need to get to this stuff, it is not happening without that step cover involved. So it's a nice platform to stand on to be able to reach over here. I'm 235 and I do fine on it too. So.
Okay, good. Bath and a half coach?
It is a bath and a half coach. Virtually everything we build is at least a bath and a half. In some cases, it's a 2 full bath. This one is a bath and a half. Very nice, plenty of room.
Yeah, a totally different texture on the backsplash that ties in.
Isn't that crazy? There's another texture.
Yeah, just beautiful.
Just looks so great. And it's functional too. Like, there's a ton of storage in here. Everything behind the mirrors open up. And of course, they're finished off beautifully with adjustable shelves.
And plenty of space in that half bathroom.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, as we covered, I'm 6'2" and 235 pounds, and I am absolutely not cramped. Another thing that is really nice about this, again, keep in mind, you're living right out here. So you come in the coach, you have a pantry here, you have a refrigerator here, stack of drawers here, awesome pantry right here. All of that stuff is within 2 steps from the entry door. It just makes such a nice access when you're doing a lot of outdoor living.
Huge bedroom back here. What's all going on in the bedroom?
This is what I was so fired up about when we were talking about it. It is huge. I mean, look at the colors on this thing. Look at the size. I mean, there's 3 of us back here, and I mean, we're not anywhere even close to each other. I bet there's 6 foot between me and the bed. It's not just dead space. Like, all of this stuff has a function. You've got these awesome closets here on both sides of the slide. This one has 2 bars in it. You can remove one of the bars and use it as a full-length hanging. This whole area, which again, this is what we were talking about up front. This is what you pick up when you do a projection system. These drawers wouldn't be possible if there were a lift television here. It's got the 4 drawers here. It has this awesome clothes hamper, which is a piece that I don't find on motorhomes very often. You have to have a place to put your dirty clothes, so that's built in over here. You have a nice cabinet over here that's a lot deeper than you'd think. Plenty of room for shoes. Another closet on this side.
I love the dog on the bicycle. So many cool, I don't know how in the world they even thought about that.
I'm a big dog fan, so most of the time when they decorate a coach that I'm going to be taking out, it's got those little quirks in it. A lot of times they'll hide a pug somewhere because I'm head over heels for a pug, you know, and so they'll put a pug here and there. I haven't found one. I don't know if there's one in here yet, but for years I would find them around in the coaches and be like, oh, home.
Yeah, lots of cool little touches.
Yeah.
And then also the accent walls that have been showing up in the more recent coaches. Really stunning design.
There's a ton of things we can do in that space. We've done art recesses for years where you can have a piece of art, you can even have it backlit in there. Some people find that a little distracting and want just a decor piece that complements the coach. That's what we've done here. So it's a recess, it's got LED lighting around it. This is one of my favorite things to do in one of these coaches. At night, I turn off all the main lights and just leave the accent lights on. So it's all of these and the ones around the ceilings and the windows, and the glow is just killer.
Yeah.
It looks so good in here.
There's all different lighting settings that you can set the mood, and then I think motion sensors too. Do you know if this coach has the motion sensors?
This one does not. This one is selectable off of switches. That's a thing that people go back and forth on. You know, some people when they get up to go to the bathroom want the illumination, others don't want to disturb the other person with some lights, so it can go either way.
Is this a different color cabinet than we saw in the salon?
This is the same one that's in the front of the salon, but a different one as you come on into the hallways and the main bulkheads with this dove gray linen print here.
Really beautiful designs. You know, what's the size of the bed?
That's one of the interesting parts about building a custom coach. Some people during the design process say, I absolutely must have the following bed, whether it's a king, a queen, two twins, whatever, and we can do that. Usually the way it works is, here's our wish list. These are all the things we want in the coach. We want a huge rear bath, we want a big half bath, plenty of cooking room, and so on. How big of a bed will fit in that situation? In this case, this is a junior king bed. It's 72 inches wide and 78 inches long. It's nearly a king, but we custom make the sheets and bed covers for this bed. Basically, it's the biggest bed that will fit with everything else we wanted to do in the coach.
But that makes sense. And then I always like to point out, you know, just with the height in the slide room, you still have, even with the cabinets in the slide room, a lot of headroom above your headboard there, and then that huge window behind your headboard.
You didn't lose any of the windows.
Yes, sir.
But you still have room for all the cool stuff we were talking about earlier. The great projector and the Anthony Gallo surrounds, the subwoofers built into the floor down here. This is the place to watch a movie. What's really cool about this is there's a couple of, I don't know if you can see them, there's a couple of Bluetooth speakers right there.
Yeah.
You take those guys outside and set them up outside and then put down the translucent shade, reverse the image on the projector, and you've got a huge television that you can watch outside too with those surround speakers.
Yeah, and it's incredible. This is just what I use in my house, these Bluetooth speakers. It's hard to beat those as
great sound out of such a small piece there.
Portable, easy to use.
They pair automatically. You don't have to do anything. You just turn the system on and they're ready to roll.
Yeah, very cool. So if you want to be the most popular coach in the campground, it's very easy to do with this coach.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of friends. So tell them BYOB though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I see these huge panels here bedside. What's all going on here?
But we've actually got those in several places around the coach. It definitely makes sense to have one on each side of the bed. This one is removable. It's an iPad based, and it allows you to use it as a television remote. You can control the projection system with it, but you can also control literally every other thing in the coach. Did I remember to lock the doors? What about the bay doors? I need to check my cameras. It's a little hot in here. You know, I'm going to turn the ACs down. 100 things. You can dump the tanks, whatever you need to do using these iPads, run the slides, although I don't know why you would do that from the bed. It's cool that it's all here, both sides. You can do all of those things from both sides of the bed and several stations in the front too.
And we did demonstrate once taking the remote outside to put the slide rooms out while you're standing outside the coach.
Yeah.
Huge advantage just so that you can watch where the slide rooms come.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you're in a place where, you know, am I going to clear that tree or whatever? I did a show down in southern Florida. It was an older resort. I was standing out there going, am I going to scratch this thing? But it was very comfortable knowing that I had the option to do it from outside.
Yeah, you don't want to scratch this paint job up. It's not looking good.
No, that's a big deal.
Yes, sir. As you're putting that iPad away, more cool little decor with the glasses there. Lots of cool little touches. So.
Yeah, we put the charging pads or the 110 outlets with the USB and USB-C on them. I'm a little lukewarm on the charging pads. We do those occasionally, often by the driver's seat, but they charge so slowly. If I really need to get my phone back up to speed feet, I'm going to plug it into one of those. But you definitely have the option to build the little inductive pads into the nightstands and by the driver's seat, wherever you want them.
I'm peeking into that rear bathroom back there. Looks like a lot of cool stuff's going on in the back of the coach.
This is one of the things that I think Newell does so well. They build bathrooms right.
Yes, sir.
Check this thing out. It has got so much room in here. Cabinets overhead here. These are big, nice medicine cabinets. This one is wired, so if you have like a shaver or electric toothbrush or something, you can put it in here and keep it out of the way on the countertop. We also, and I know I've showed you this before, but this is really good thought. We hang the doors opposite, so when you're getting ready, you can see all the three sides. It's not important to me, but it matters for my wife. We have plugs in all the right places. We have the lights on dimmers, so if you're getting ready in the morning, it's not quite as harsh. Lots of drawer space. All of these are drawers.
Beautiful tile floors that we haven't seen anywhere in the coach. Kind of almost a wild design,
Right.
but really works in this rear bathroom.
I'm sure Stuart and the boys in the tile shop are ready to choke us over that, but it does look so good. In fact, I was doing a factory tour when this coach was being built. Stuart, we were walking by. I wasn't going to bother him because typically when they're laying floor, but he's like, you got to come see the floor in this bathroom. And if he's fired up about it after as many years as he's been here laying tile, it's going to be cool. He brought us in and showed us this. It hadn't even been grouted yet at that point. I can see where that would be a nightmare, but it is gorgeous.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the detail on that. I really have to tip my hat to Stuart Woods and all the craftsmen in the tile department and all of the departments. I mean, some of the most talented craftsmen in the world are here at Newell Coach.
I would love to build a house with these guys, but it'd cost $1 million bucks a square foot.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
But they are so next level. I mean, this stuff, it's all over, and there's different departments. We're not talking about 5 guys here. We have 204 employees. The excellence that this whole team pulls together. I've been in this industry for 34 years, and I've never seen a machine hit on all 12 like this thing is.
Well, and the company culture too,
That's where it starts.
The times that I have called into that 24/7 customer service line and someone calls you back, you get a friendly technician on the other line. You're not getting, sometimes RV technicians are known to kind of give a little bit of attitude. I've never gotten that from any employee here at Newell Coach, so a lot to be said about that.
They could get away with giving me that attitude because I'm one of them, but still, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I need help. Might be a little sleepy, but here's what you need to do. It's fuse 610 and do this and do that, and I'm back on the road. I mean, it's so comfortable. I mean, you and I have both had motorhomes that didn't have that sort of support. I'm telling you, traveling across country when you've got somebody on the other end of that phone, no matter what, no matter when, such a load off.
Yeah, even if it's just for the moral support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
I may have figured it out on my own, but it's nice to have somebody back me up. We've got a lot of closet space in this one. One of the things I like they do is make the doors retractable. That makes loading and unloading this coach so much easier. So you have 8 feet of hanging back here with a lighted closet rod so you can see what's going on in here. Lots of drawer space underneath. Custom towels and a towel warmer to help dry them and make them nice and toasty when you're ready to use them.
They brought that same floor into the shower, and I'm having a tough time finding the drain here.
We're doing these, which part of it is because they look cool. You can't get away from that. They do look cool, the invisible drain, but also it makes cleaning them out so much easier. That whole thing just lifts out and you're looking at the shower drain. I've got a whole family full of girls. You got to clean the shower drain every now and then. It's not glamorous, it's just reality. That makes it so much easier than taking the little round thing up and getting it cleaned out. There's a functional side to it too. One of the things that the girls have been doing quite a bit, the girls being Sydney and Amber, the decor people, they're wanting to bring a spa feel into the bathrooms. These ceramic tiles, obviously you couldn't do wood in here because it's a shower, but these ceramic tiles, another texture, these warm up this shower so much. We're talking about doing a home remodel and I'm like, man, I think I've got to figure out how to pull that off. I just love that look of the wood in here.
It's almost a different tile that almost has that concrete look to it.
Kinda does.
On that other wall, it just really ties everything together.
It works so well. And then the other thing we've got back here in the bathroom is we did the washer and dryer. This is a 220 volt dryer. It's an ASCO. They're front loaders. They're mounted where they're up higher. Like we put the little compartment where you keep your soap and fabric softener and dryer sheets and all that down low. That way you don't have to get down as low to get things out of the dryer and put them into the washer. A lot more convenient, especially for people my size. You don't have to get down on your knees to change the clothes over. And then of course made the doors retractable so that when you're not doing laundry, they cover the machines. When you are doing laundry, they're back out of the way. I think that's a really nice setup.
Well, Brian, I greatly appreciate you showing us around this coach. Now, this coach is available right now, a rare opportunity.
It is. It's the first time in several years that we've had something brand new on the ground ready to go. That's why I'm going to hit the road with it right away before the other guys sell it. So.
Yeah, well, 'cause I was going to say, we did film 1777, and it was literally sold while we were filming. And so we're going to hustle to get this video live so that if it doesn't sell, well, even if it does sell, it's still going to be a show coach at Mountain Falls.
That's right.
And at Harside Grove.
Harside Grove,
so
yeah. We're going to keep it until the end of August regardless.
Are you going to take it up to Polson Motor Coach Resort up in Montana?
That gets a little west. I'm mostly an East Coast guy. That'll be up to one of the other guys to take it out west.
One of my other favorite resorts, I got to ask.
I do love that place.
Absolutely. Yeah. But if someone is a serious and qualified buyer, they want to purchase this coach or custom order a new coach or a pre-owned coach, who can they get a hold of?
My name is Brian Pitts. I've been doing this for a lot of years and I'd love to help. The best way to get me is Brian with an I, brianp@newellcoach.com, and I'd really love to help out with that.
Awesome, Brian. I greatly appreciate you and the team at Newell.
Thank you.
Also greatly appreciate all of you subscribing. We hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.
Thanks for watching.